All right, y'all, there's a new way to glitch the Master Sword and it's easier than ever. We're going to walk you through all the steps right here. If you guys end up finding this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. As you guys see, I have the Master Sword glitch with the white main Lionel Mace Horn, which now gives me a 70 attack power. And you guys remember the old way of glitching the Master Sword or glitching items onto the Master Sword? It was really complicated. Trust me, y'all, this one has no complication to it. You should be able to get it done in 1 or 2 tries. Now let's get started. All right, y'all. Step 1, we're gonna take an item that we want fused onto our Master Sword and drop it on the ground. Step 2, you're gonna make sure that you have the Master Sword that you want to fuse the item to. You want to have that equipped. Step 3, you're gonna bring up your fuse option, but we're not gonna fuse anything. Normally, when you try to fuse items to a Master Sword, it'll give you a message saying you're unable to fuse to this item. So the next thing we're gonna do is press the plus sign to bring up our inventory. And this is done while you're in your fuse option without fusing anything. Not like duplicating your weapons attached to a shield. This is nothing like that. As long as you have the fuse option up and then you go into your menu, you're good to go. And through the fuse option, just make sure that you're maintaining that connection between your sword and the actual item on the ground, that you're not too far away. In this next step, we're going to drop the Master Sword that we have equipped, and we're just going to equip any other weapon that doesn't have anything fused to it. In this next step, you're going to press B and then Y, but it's not like the old version glitches, not that fast, BY. Just think about the speed it takes you to get your thumb from B to Y, and that's how you'll press those buttons. So you'll press B to exit, and you should see the fuse happen, but as you guys see, there's no Lionel Mace Horn attached to my spear here. So now we're gonna pick up our Master Sword that's on the ground, then you're gonna press right on your D-pad to bring up your weapon selection screen. You're gonna switch over to the Master Sword, and voila. You now have very easily glitched an item to your Master Sword. You guys can see when I swing the sword that the Mace Horn is attached. When we look at the stats on our Master Sword, we see the additional plus 40 from the Mace Horn there. And you guys really don't even need to worry about messing this glitch up, because if you fuse an item that you don't necessarily want, you could destroy the fused material and just try again. For instance, I didn't want to use my last MSG not found with nothing fused to it, and I had 2 of these Master Swords with the Molduga jaw attached to it. So I just went in here, destroyed the fused material, which brought my Master Sword back to MSG not found with nothing fused on it, and then I just went through the process of attaching a white main Lionel Mace Horn to it. All right, yeah, we're gonna walk you through this one more time for good measure. As you guys see, I got a bunch of these Master Swords with gems glitched to them. We're gonna select the Topaz Master Sword and destroy the fused material. This brings the Master Sword back to his original state, MSG not found. We're gonna make sure that we have this weapon equipped now. Then we're gonna go and select an item that we wanna fuse. In this case, I'm gonna use the Silver Horriblin Horn. We're gonna drop that on the ground. Then you're gonna bring up your fuse option, but you're not gonna fuse anything just yet. While in your fuse option, make sure that you're able to maintain a connection between your sword and the item. We're then gonna press the plus sign so we can go into our inventory. We're gonna select the Master Sword and drop it. Then we're gonna select any other weapon that doesn't have anything fused to it. Next, we'll press B and then Y. And remember, it doesn't have to be super fast. Just think about the time it takes your thumb to get from B to Y. If you've done this correctly, you should see the fuse animation take place, but there's nothing fused to your spear. That's because it's fused to your Master Sword on the ground. So we'll pick up the Master Sword, then we'll press right on the D-pad to bring up our weapon selection, slide on over to the Master Sword, and voila, you see we now have the Silver Horriblin Horn plus 32 damage attached to our Master Sword. I really hope you guys found this helpful. I'm gonna go out and attack some Gleeoks today, maybe attach some elemental damage to my Master Sword. I got another very special glitch for you guys coming up a little later on today, so y'all be sure to stay tuned. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to All City 2 for a bunch more Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom tips, tricks, and walkthroughs. I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Easy, y'all.